Coming up on this edition of the Desert Vision, berserkers strike from a distance.
And then we get up close and personal with some military working dogs.
And an update on the Scimitar Sports Challenge. Welcome to the Desert Vision. I'm Staff Sergeant Daniel Sullivan.
And I'm Sergeant Kimberly Browne. All these stories and more coming up. But first we go to Camp Arifjan, where Army Sergeant Marty Borton was on the scene for the first run of a brand new course. A course that you typically would not find in Kuwait.
The first ever air assault school in Kuwait began with day 0 at Camp Arifjan, where candidates ran a 2-mile run in uniform and completed a 9-event obstacle course.
Get that face in the dirt! Air assault!
The obstacle course tests the mental agility of the students and also their attention to detail, as well as their physical capabilities.
A total of 269 students tested their mettle at the obstacle course. 141 active duty Army, 86 Army National Guard, 37 Army Reserve, 3 United States Marines, and 2 United States Airmen started the course that has an expected pass rate of 80%.
It's awesome to work with the other branches, and I wish that we could get more chances to do it. The obstacle course was rigorous and challenging. The exercises in between made sure that you weren't 100% rested, so it makes it more challenging for everybody.
Becoming air assault qualified makes you more of an asset to your unit, allowing the soldier to do air assault planning, prepare equipment for helicopter transportation that can be used for peacetime and combat operations.
The air assault student becomes a subject matter expert to his company commander or unit commander and is able to assist with planning for air assault operations into whatever environment they may need.
I volunteered to better myself and to expand my career options within the military.
Hey, what are you supposed to do every time your left foot hits the ground?
Air assault.
Go back and start over.
For USR Cent, I'm Army Sergeant
Air assault!
Marty Borton.
Air assault! Air assault!
The course runs nearly 2 weeks, and as you can see, these troops are experiencing a type of deja vu from basic training.
Ooh, I'm sure they're going to be dreaming about air assault every single night. Staying in the air, the Army prides itself on winning the fight from the sky. Army Sergeant David Graves caught up with the 777 ASB to see what they do to keep the helicopters in the fight.
The Army employs over 60 rotary wing aircrafts and over 20 unmanned aircrafts in the U.S. ARCENT Theater of Operations. Bravo Company 777th Aviation Support Battalion is tasked with keeping those helicopters in the fight.
You know, I think there's a lot of pride in working on Army helicopters. I mean, it really expands the battlefield capabilities for the Ground Force Task Commander.
While Captain Jackson oversees the big picture, mechanics like Sergeant Ryan Cassio deals with the smaller pieces, like the sheet metal for each helicopter.
I mean, we do pretty cool stuff. I mean, not everybody can get close to an Apache or a CH-47 or 60. The fun part is that you get to be creative with your hands.
Bravo Company also provides aviation maintenance and downed aircraft recovery training to multinational partners in Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Jordan, and Oman.
So they take a lot of pride in doing good work and you know, sending out a quality aircraft. They know that it's those soldiers' lives on the line when they go up. So you know, there's really a zero tolerance for error.
So these maintenance guys comb through 60,000 pieces to keep birds like this in the sky. For USR Cent, I'm Army Sergeant David Graves.
The 777 covers every helicopter in U.S. Army Central's area of operations. We'll be right back after this.
I was a witness to sexual assault.
I was a witness to a sexual assault.
I was a witness.
I was a witness.
I was a witness to a sexual assault.
My battle buddy was harassed.
I will not let fear hold me back.
I refuse to stay quiet.
I will not let offenders escape justice.
I am speaking up.
I am speaking up.
I am taking a stand.
I'm a survivor of sexual assault.
These are your brothers and sisters in arms. It is imperative that you have the personal courage to intervene and act.
If you've been a victim or witnessed sexual violence, break the silence. Say something.
With nearly 3 decades of operations in Kuwait, the partnership between U.S. and Kuwaiti forces is as strong as ever. U.S. Ambassador Lawrence Silverman spoke about his gratitude to the U.S. forces.
Hello, I'm Lawrence Silverman, the United States Ambassador to the state of Kuwait. My family and I would like to thank all our American servicemen and women, our DoD civilians, contractors, and their families for their dedication and service. You help keep the United States safe and the U.S.-Kuwaiti alliance strong. We remember the hardships borne by the 540,000 American servicemen and women and tens of thousands of soldiers from other coalition partners who went to war 26 years ago so that aggression would be repulsed and Kuwait could be free. I salute the families of the members of our armed forces. Each of these brave men and women had mothers, fathers, children, siblings, friends, and neighbors back home. As someone whose family served in the armed forces and who has worked alongside American soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines overseas, I appreciate your sacrifices and those of your families. The sense of shared duty and sacrifice, forged through war and strengthened by peace, unite our two peoples and provides the foundation for the inseparable bonds of friendship our two countries enjoy today. Your dedication and commitment in strengthening our bilateral relations with Kuwait, which contributes to an indispensable military partnership that enhances our national security and also translates into 500,000 American jobs, are truly remarkable. Your efforts are also helping to promote the values that we seek to protect and share with our allies. I sincerely thank you for your service to our great nation and for working on our common goal of helping Kuwait ensure its security and stability for the future and to ensure our continued cooperation in the fight against violent extremism and terrorism. From the entire U.S. diplomatic mission in Kuwait, thank you.
The commanding general at U.S. Army Central invited the Kuwait Land Forces commander to Sumter, South Carolina. Army Staff Sergeant Crystal Crawford has more.
Kuwait has had a long and enduring relationship with the U.S. Army. Recently, the Kuwaiti Land Force commander, Major General Khalid al-Sabah, accepted an invitation from the U.S. Army Central's commanding general, Lieutenant General Michael Garrett, to visit ARCENT headquarters.
It is just wonderful having you here.
Thank you very much, sir.
I look forward to our visit.
This visit enhances the mutually beneficial relationship and interoperability between Kuwaiti land forces and the U.S. Army.
And so it was important to hear the Kuwaitis' perspective. Well, we often forget that they live there all the time, and they are literally on the front line of some of the challenges that we're both concerned in confronting in the region. And so by them coming here, we gained a much better perspective on what they view as the most significant challenges in the region so that we can kind of work together to come up with solutions that will be beneficial to both of our nations.
The Kuwaitis contribute greatly to the safety and security of U.S. soldiers stationed in the host nation. For U.S. Army Central, I'm Staff Sergeant Crystal Crawford.
Major General Khalid also visited with the Chief of Staff of the Army and was awarded the Legion of Merit.
The High Mobility Artillery Rocket System, or HIMARS, is known for its accuracy and keeping excess damage in check. Bravo Battery, 3rd of the 157th Field Artillery, went to the Odari Range to certify on their HIMARS systems. Captain Tim Bertosti says this system is incredibly accurate, making it perfect for precision strikes.
They're really proving very effective on the battlefield. I know a lot of people are calling them the long-range sniper rifle, and when you pick out a target and you give it a grid, it's going to hit that grid.
Their Table 6 certification took roughly 1 month to put together, mostly because they had to ensure the rockets wouldn't reach high enough to get into commercial airspace. This exercise was named Berserker Strike as a tribute to the battery's mascot. Our Scimitar Challenge update and more coming up right after this.
Someone's going to carry the weight. Don't malinger.
Welcome back to the Desert Vision. The last event of the Scimitar Sports Challenge happened down in Kuwait City. Sergeant David Graves was down there courtside to see what was going on with all the action. Sergeant Graves, what's happening?
As it stands right now, Kuwait is in the lead, 3 events to 0. They took the 5K, the soccer game, just recently took the volleyball match as well. We're warming up for basketball here. I spoke with Coach Leatherlow before the game. He says he's excited to see how things unfold.
Going about 100 miles an hour each practice. I had to slow them down the last practice because they wanted to get overexerted, but they're excited, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do.
The final event of the Scimitar Sports Challenge tipped off with the Kuwait National Army team dropping an early layup on their first possession. A sign of things to come in what would be a high-scoring game and the biggest nail-biter of the Scimitar Challenge. Down 56-42 at halftime, Coach Aaron Leatherlow made a few small changes, but mostly wanted to stay the course.
We just got to make the opportunities we get, and we got to stop the 3. They've hit too many 3-pointers so far, so we got to stop the 3. Do what we practiced. Bottom line, just do what we practiced, and if we stick to our game plan and not play their game, we'll be all right.
The Camp Arifjan U.S. Army team came out firing on all cylinders, and after being down by 23, rallied back to take a 1-point lead. The Kuwaitis were too much to handle in the end, winning by a final score of 103-97, taking the Scimitar Trophy in the process. Reporting for U.S. Arcent, I'm Army Sergeant David Graves.
Well, that does it for the Scimitar Sports Challenge. It's now officially over. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it to any of the events, but you were. Tell me a little bit about what happened.
Well, Sergeant Sullivan, there was a 5K race, and their fastest guy came in just under 17 minutes.
Oh, wow. That's about the same time I run my Army 2-miler in.
But we also had a volleyball game, which was the best of 5, and they beat us 3-0. However, they do have professional teams, and we worked really hard at it, but they still got us.
Well done, Kuwait. You win this round. But apparently we have a Scimitar Sports Challenge next year as well.
Yes, we do, and we caught up with Major Juan Irizarry, who was telling us about the future of the Scimitar Challenge.
So next year, hopefully, we can get buy-in and get our actual big Army teams to come and our world-class athletes to come down and participate against world-class teams events. So that way we gain that buy-in and bring all of our soldiers from Arifjan, Camp Arifjan, all of Kuwait as spectators.
So it seems the Scimitar Challenge is a big hit. Let's hope we see more of it in the future.
And it also appears that the U.S. teams will be looking for redemption next year when the Scimitar Sports Challenge comes back. And we'll be right back.
Once a soldier.
A soldier for life.
The 481st Transportation Detachment is looking for an Oscar, but not for their acting chops. It's actually a 200-pound floating dummy named Oscar. The Landing Craft Utility 2013, or LCU, recently performed a rescue drill in the Arabian Gulf. Oscar was first dumped in the water. Then it falls on the crew of the Churubusco rescue boat to not only find the dummy, but to also pull him on board and bring him safely back to LCU 2013. With so many units working closely to the water, it's a relief to have the 481st keeping a sharp eye on the horizon.
And an old saying is, love what you do, and you'll never have to work a day in your life. And this holds true for the working dog handlers of the 226th. They gave us a tour of their day-to-day life. Let's take a look.
So in order to become certified and deploy, each dog team has to reach a certain proficiency rate in both detection and patrol aspects. Once you deploy, it's just keeping that proficiency rate high in case we have to redeploy to somewhere else. Here, left. Every dog has a different personality. Every dog is different. You'll never find two dogs that are exactly the same. Like, it's fun experiencing the different work with different dogs. It's a great job. It's a great opportunity. You know, as you've seen today, it takes a lot, and it's a lot of training put in to be able to keep these dogs up to par of where they're supposed to be.
What's this? See? Hey.
A sergeant first class from Fort Hood once told me that dog lovers make the worst dog handlers. But honestly, I mean, it's hard not to work with these dogs so closely and not fall in love with them.
Pound it.
Good.
You know, Sergeant Sullivan, it takes roughly $85,000 to raise and train one of these dogs.
I'd believe it after having one of those dogs bite me and drag me to the ground. I'll tell you, they are definitely well trained. And that'll do it for this edition of the Desert Vision. For all these stories and more, check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/US Army Central.
And also on youtube.com/US Army Central. For US Army Central, I'm Sergeant Kimberly Browne.
And I'm Staff Sergeant Daniel Sullivan. Thank you for watching.